All right, let's see. Good morning, everybody. Looks like I got sound to OBS at least. I never did set up this sound. Let me do that first. All right, almost ready. This there. Let's go and see Grover. Good morning. Back on top. Okay. So good morning to everybody. My name's Tim. I go before me guy. We are playing with CircuitPython stuff. In particular, this morning I am going to be poking around with some multi-display stuff. I saw this one go in last night, issue from Neardoc about using the two displays on the monster mask, which I have here, but I didn't set up the camera. But I was actually interested in playing around with multiple displays anyway, so this kind of gets into what I already wanted to play with a little bit. It's a different situation, a different different thing than what I was interested in looking at. I am actually going to, let's see, we're gonna put the Ethernet other wing back away for a minute. Let's do my chair up for 5 seconds. Okay, that should be on here, but it will probably be out of focus, I guess. So, just to reset. So I figured anyway, though, since I was interested in playing around with two displays anyway, I would look into this at the same time. So that's where we're going to start. The other thing I'm interested in doing, though, is trying to initialize two displays in the core and have them both show up on board, which I don't know if that is possible for sure or not. That's not how this device works. The monster mask, which is the one the issue is about, although potentially the issue would affect our other use case as well. Although I did get partway into it and didn't see this issue come up, but maybe it is depending on different versions, or I don't really know. I haven't looked too far into it just yet, but also this one is just differently. The displays get set up differently than the way I was doing, but that's what we're looking to here. This one is something about basically the terminal, I think, getting duplicated, or not duplicated, but rather trying to be added to an additional group or an additional display, I guess. And you can't do that with a group. You would never really run into it if you're on a device with one display, but when you do have two displays, you cannot display the same group on both displays. You have to have two different groups. I feel like I played with it at one point. Maybe you can have the tile grid as the same, but I'm not actually certain about that anymore either. Yeah, I saw that. I was reading through that and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm curious to look into that. And I got down to the bottom and saw you tagged me, and I was like, oh, It's definitely right up my alley. How's it going, Paul Cutler? Just thinking I might have to start the Halloween project soon. Nice. Tried the suggestion I put in for the issue, but it doesn't quite do it. I see the same error message between the REPL prompts. I wonder if it's somewhere where it's called also on the monster mask I get randomly. Yeah. I saw hard crashes as well. I don't remember if that was the exact same output as I saw or not. But when I was playing with multiple displays recently, not on the monster mask, but in a different context, I was getting some hard crashes. So those might crop up as well, and we might be diving into that a bit also. Let's get set up at least to replicate this. I need to plug in this cable because Monster Mask has micro USB instead of USB-C. I'm gonna leave this kind of wonky ways for a minute. Doesn't necessarily need to be right side up. It's probably going to be on some very ancient version, so we're probably going to want to go and update that. Oh, I changed CodePy. Well, that device is unplugged, so we want to load the file system changes because that's the new device. We do have some nice dancing rainbow. Oh, resetting over and over, but we have some nice dancing rainbow party parrots there. They reset over and over a few times, I guess. Maybe they're not going to keep going. I need to probably is that why it's red, maybe? Oh, okay, yeah. If it's excluded, why is it shown? Isn't that kind of the point of exclude? Maybe I'm missing something. Yeah, very old. Limit 2. Yeah. Make us custom builds from. Yep. We could add it to CircuitPy mp config make custom builds from GitHub just by what, like cloning, and then I mean you could do that today, I think, right? Because you could clone. Well, do you have to open a PR for it to run the actions? That part I don't know, I guess. Once you open the PR, it definitely runs actions. Part of the actions are making a build. If you know where to find the resulting file, you can. Let's see, we need to get the update for this. Does it matter? Which one do we want to be trying? You did 805, or you did both? You did both, okay. Let's take the newer one then. Whoa. I already downloaded it, okay. How do you bootloader this one? Just double tap reset? Oh, interesting. Oh, I did not make it. There we go. The second display stays on, which is kind of fascinating. We're in bootloader, but the other display is just showing whatever the last thing it had was. Custom board. Whoop. Okay, that's fascinating. That is not what I meant to copy, but is strangely appropriate. It's still doing it. Interesting. Copy link. My copy link. Okay. Is there any chance that Discord would have made it so that sometimes when you copy links, it copies the word whoops instead? where would I have gotten a whoops to copy from? That seems like a decent April Fool's gag that somebody like Discord might play, right? This page doesn't say whoops, does it? Yeah, I think they did. I don't think there's anywhere I would have copied that from. Anyway. Fork it, activate actions, go to custom, select custom board workflow, build, quick run workflow. Interesting. When was this? This was like a month ago. Yeah, I did not know this was all set up. I mean, it makes sense kind of because it's the same, you know, it's kind of the same thing that the that it does when you submit the PR. But to be able to, I had no idea you could do this like form or whatever. I'm curious to look into that as well. Like, how do you set this up to take inputs like that? That's really cool. I've never seen that. Yeah, that'd be good. Maybe we can work on that. Cool. Thank you for sharing that. I did not see this one go by. That's really cool. So then if it was... You're saying if it was set up differently, we could use it as one of these flags here, basically. You do have to go define that somewhere. I forget exactly where. About editing the code, yeah. That would be neat. Could have maybe saved CodePy to something different to start with. Yeah, group already used, so we did see that right there. My code actually already does recreate it, even though we're setting up the displays a bit differently. I think this is probably using the library, a monster mask library, so it just does this and then do have two different tile grids here, so maybe that means you can't do the, maybe that means you can't reuse the tile grid either. You reuse the bitmap maybe? I looked into it at one point. I feel like there's some part of the stack you can reuse. It's definitely not the groups though. Oh, I should have updated this before. Oh, going so much faster now. Did it fetch? Yeah, it says fetching. I'm suspicious of that because it used to take like a lot longer. Come here. Since I shared module display 39, I'm guessing is around where it's setting up the display like inside of a init, the constructor. Buddy. I know. I know. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I know. Um, set the root group to splash, which then inside of here at 407 is where deeply it raises. Set the root group. If it was not okay, then we say already used. I think we should somehow. I think we need to not do it on the second display. Like, ideally, we want. I think. Where's the first part? Oh, it does it inside reset display as well. We'll whatever we would do to handle it, we would probably need to handle it there as well. Glad I found that, actually. This was the first one, though. I think we want to somehow, like... check if it's already been done. I mean, I guess that's what it's doing, right? With the OK. And you said you tried just ignoring the... basically just don't worry about OK at all. I'm trying to set the second group. So, what if you just catch it and go on? Does anything else break? $131 in my code? I don't have 131. Wait, what? Oh, 15 in my code, which is just the import or the initialization. If we just caught this and went on, would it... hello? Oh, okay. I don't want to reset. Let's see what it does, though. Well, I don't know if my code got saved. Keyword arguments given. Oh. Yeah. So I think the hard crash might be something to do with when you write code. I feel like I only played with it a little tiny bit, but I feel like I was seeing hard crashes after saving files. But maybe, and like I said, I had a very small sample size, I guess. Didn't necessarily test that many other scenarios, so. Mask not defined. Definitely does not work, or at least it does not work with the library. I guess if you were inside the code, but it's ultimately the constructor of the display, and so if you're not getting a display object back out of it, then it's never going to work. So we do have to handle it deeper than that. Do we have to explicitly set the root group of the second display to an empty group or null? I don't think so, but I'm not sure. Did a thing where you set up the first display root group equals an empty group, where you set up the first display and then do display root group equals new group, and then set up the second display in it. Oh, so that would make sense because it's not showing the splash anymore in the first group, so therefore the group is unused. Then your splash would end up in the second group. I think that would work, and it would be doable at user code level. It'd be nice if we could do that inside the core maybe somehow, though. So where are we? We do left display first. So right here we have the left display. If we went left display dot root group equals just an empty group, basically. That will make it no longer showing the splash, which means when the right display gets created, it will take the splash and it won't be in use, and therefore it won't raise the exception. But it does still hard crash. Yeah, good call. Is there like if displays equals 1 or whatever? Somewhere we have. Does inside of here have any way to know how many displays are already created, i.e. like is there one display already created, or are there 0 displays already created? If it could know that in here, then we could just say like only do this if there are 0 already existing. Where have I seen something that does that? Like, oops, that is not what I meant to do at all. It's not really supposed to be a regular expression. Can you check the length of this thing? They're all using 0 though. Crash seems to be when saving. I even had file corrupted with nonsense bytes at the end, which is a little scary. Yeah. I don't know how best to troubleshoot that. I assume there's something somewhere that is not accounting for the second display somehow. Maybe there's something that's not like... Wouldn't need to be released, I guess, would it? I don't know. A lot of displays 0. Oh, display I. Displays I. There we go. Okay. Module board. I so should have done -n. So this is looping over display limit. Where does displays come from? I wish the control click worked in here. Because like in PyCharm, a lot of times you find a variable and you just control click it and you will go to the declaration, but this is like, does not compute. Like it came from somewhere, right? Could be that maybe? That doesn't even exist. Oh, but I'm in shared module. This would be out here. I have displays in here. Browser terminal started. That sounds kind of relevant though, potentially. Where does it check for display limit and throw too many displays error? That's a good question, actually. I'm not sure. Try to find that. Same we used in Pin C for board display. Module? Is this where we would get displays? Is primary display displays display limit. but it doesn't. So that it's like an array, I assume, right? It has 2 slots for holding the displays. Oh my gosh, I don't even remember how to print. I really wish there was a good place to refer to figure out how to print. It's like mp plat print, mp print f. It's f plat print. I don't think we probably even don't want this necessarily. How do you get the length of an array? It might not technically be an array, I don't know. Beautiful. I love higher level languages. What if 0 is empty or something, though, right? The length is that, yeah. Well, I know, but I mean, like, I don't know how to do anything else, so I'm trying to do one thing at a time. I mean, ideally what I want to do is check for none or whatever, right? Like, what I really want to do is print out the values that are there and figure out if it has already been made or not. But I don't know how to do that either, and I figured that printing the length is easier and potentially one step along the way, hopefully. I mean, I suspect I can't just print like this, right? Okay, fingers crossed. Hopefully we're all good on the whole don't freeze my computer, please. Need to do anything else? Yeah, random segmentation fault. Maybe. Legal instruction? Yeah. Oh, I wish that was not happening. If it's an empty array, it will crash. That's all right. Like, I'm how's it going, Johnny? Also, I am completely shooting in the dark, basically, on C. Like, I don't know how to do anything, so trying to do something and it crashing, it's still something, right? Tells me one thing I can't do, I guess, right? In this case, hopefully it won't be empty. Hopefully it'll be on... Well, I mean, I guess the first time it will definitely be empty, won't it? Well, yeah, the first time it'll definitely be empty. mean, ideally, I'm trying to get it on one. I'm trying to get it to when the first one is created, but the second one is not yet. And then, like, at that point, we want to be able to test, is the first one actually created or not? I'm thinking maybe hopefully we can do that somehow with this object, but I don't actually know for sure. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, we're in the constructor, I think, for the array. If there is no display, it won't, I think you're right, it won't call any, it won't get into here. But when it does come into here the first time, this will not be filled in yet, I don't think. Actually, I don't actually know that for certain either, though, so maybe it will be. So we did not random segmentation fault, but it is... Oh yeah, we did. Just kidding. I don't know why we are just like stuck here. Feels weird that we didn't get the prompt back. I don't know what to do about this. Alright. Well, we're taking a detour. So I don't have a good feeling about just continuing to do nothing. It's not really what I want to be doing, but I don't want to just keep trying to build and wait for it to freeze, because I think it's gonna. Don't really think this is gonna help any either, but feel better about doing something than nothing, I guess. Oh, right. I don't know how to do this, though. I wish I could. I need to download this thing. Is this it? Yeah. Maybe this is it. Okay. I already downloaded this before. Twice now. Well, this is the third time now. I mean, I probably never deleted the first one, truthfully, though, so. I'm gonna try swapping it, I guess, right? Like, hopefully it got corrupted, maybe. Pretty sure I tried this already. I don't know where it calls from. Be figuring that out, I guess. That thing? What is this called? ARM-GAC... Wait, no, this says it in here. Which... Tim C. In. I must not have tried it. That's that recently, though. Really? That make it not get found? Is that what it does if it doesn't find it? So the problem right now is I'm not getting successful builds of CircuitPython because my computer is messed up in some way that I don't know the specific details about. So I am trying a thing that I don't necessarily think will work, but feels better than trying nothing to if we can get back to being able to get successful builds reliably without the computer freezing. Today's thing to try is re-download the GCC. As strange as it sounds, hope that the old one was corrupted somehow and that the new one will not be. That feels unlikely since it's not like consistently failing the same way every time. I would expect more so if the thing inside of here was corrupted, but fingers crossed. Nope. Okay, computer froze, but not indefinitely. I don't know what to do really. We can't really, I guess, do this if I can't like